Okay, we're going. Okay, this is lesson 1.2 for 8th grade. We are going to be doing exponents, okay? Again, this is what you would have to do for bell work if you were here normally. You can pause it and work on those if you'd like. If not, then we will just continue. Those are the answers if you did it. If not, then again, we'll just continue. This is mine. So you will be learning to write and evaluate expressions using exponents. Evaluating is just another term for solving. Okay, vocab. So, power. An expression of the form x to the n, read x to the nth power. So, if for instance x was 3 and n was 2, then it would be read as 3 to the second power, or you could just say 3 squared. Because our numbers 2 and 3 have a special name that sometimes you can use if you want. 2 is squared and 3 is cubed. 4 and more, they don't have anything, so it would just be read 3 to the 4th power. Okay? Base is the number being multiplied according to the exponent. So if we go back to our example 3, and the exponent was a little 2, then that big number 3 is our base. It's what will be multiplied twice because of the exponent. Okay? And then our other one, exponent, which is a number that indicates how many times a number or expression is to be multiplied by itself. So again, if we take 3 and it is to the second power, then that exponent 2 is telling the 3 that it needs to multiply itself twice. So 3 times 3. If it was 3 to the 5th, then that 5 is telling the 3 that it needs to be multiplied by itself 5 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay? So you can pause the video and get that all written down if you want. Hopefully you can see the board a lot better actually, I think. But yeah, you can pause the video, get that all written down. Okay, first expression. Write the expression using exponents. Let's see if you can see that. It might be a little blurry, but ooh, freeze. Freeze. Anytime now. There we go. So, you have negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So what you want to do is look at what bases you have. And remember, bases is the number that's being multiplied. And here we only have 2. We have negative 2 and we have 3. So down here we'll write negative 2 times 3. Okay? Now, we're not done yet because we need to put an exponent on them. We can tell what exponent each has because it's the number of times that number is being multiplied. So for for negative 2, 1, 2, 3. It's being multiplied 3 times by itself, so we can put that exponent of 3 right there. And with 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's being multiplied by itself 4 times. So we can put the exponent of 4 on top of the 3. And that is your answer. Okay? Now remember, when it says write the expression using exponents, you aren't solving it. Okay? So we're not going to take 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 and find out what that actually equals. We're just going to rewrite this using exponents and bases. Okay? So this is what your answer would have been. same thing with this one. So we have negative 9 times 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 4 times 4 times 4. Okay? Try this one on your own from what we just did and see if you can get the answer. Make sure you pause the video because I'm going to go right into the answer once you get it done. Okay? And then push play when you're ready. So our bases are negative 9 and 4. So negative 9 times 4. And negative 9 is being multiplied once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. So it has an exponent of 5. And then 4 is being multiplied once, twice, and 3 times. So it has an exponent of 3. Okay, so that's what you should have got as your answer. And it doesn't change just because we have letters. So we have A times B times B times A times B. Okay? So what are our bases? Well, our bases are A and B. Okay? So we put A times B. Okay? And then how many times are those letters being multiplied? Well, the letter A, once, twice. So it has an exponent of 2. And then B, once, twice, 3 times. So it has an exponent of 3. So it would be a squared times b cubed, or you could say it a to the second power times b to the third power. Okay? Just because we have letters, it doesn't change anything. So try this one on your own, okay? And if you can't see it, I'll write it up here. It's x times y times x times y times x times x, okay? So pause the video, try it on your own, and once you are done, then push play, because I'm going to go right into the answer. Okay, so what you should have got, your two bases are x and y, okay? So x times y. And then x is being multiplied once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So the exponent is 4. Y is being multiplied once, twice. So it has an exponent of 2. So you should have got x to the 4th power times either y squared or y to the 2nd power. Okay? I need to clean my board. It's getting a little dirty. Okay. So, here it says evaluate negative 2/3 to the 4th power. Okay? So one, it's telling us to solve and get an actual answer for this and do the math for it. So, there's an easy way to know if something like this that has a negative sign, if the answer is going to have a negative sign or if it's going to be positive. Okay? If this little guy, it all depends on the exponent. Okay? You look at the exponent and you say, if it's even, then I'm going to have a positive answer. If it's odd, I'm going to have a negative answer, and I'll show you why. So the 4 is telling us to multiply negative 2/3 4 times by itself. Okay, so negative 2 over 3 times negative 2 over 3 times negative 2 over 3 times negative 2 over 3. Okay? And here's how you know the positive and negative thing works. So when we multiply two negatives, we know they butt heads and they become a positive. So these two negatives will create a positive, and these two negatives will create a positive. Which means when we multiply these two numbers together, it'll be a positive number. Now, if it was to the 5th power, and we had another negative 2/3, well, we have these two will cancel out the negative, these two, but then this brings down that negative. And any positive times a negative will always result in a negative number. Okay, so that's how we know odd exponent will have a negative. If it's even, we'll have a positive. Okay? No, we don't need that extra one. And here's the fun part. The only thing I like about fractions, you can multiply just straight across when doing multiplication. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. Okay? And that's what you should have gotten, because then these two negatives cancel, and these two negatives cancel. Okay? Okay, so go ahead and try this one on your own. So it says evaluate. So that just is another word for solve. Okay? And I want you to solve 1/4 cubed, or to the 3rd power. Okay, so go ahead and try that on your own. Pause the video. When you're done, push play, because I'll go right into the answer. Okay, so when we write it out, 1/4 times 1/4 times 1/4. Well, we just multiply straight across. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 4 is 16. Times 4 is 64. So you should have got 1 over 64. Now, you're probably wondering, well, it's an odd exponent, so why isn't it a negative 1 over 64? Well, that only applies if this number in here has a negative sign. If it's a positive, no matter what, it's a positive times a positive times a positive, and that'll just give you a positive number. Okay, so it's only when this is a negative number that you need to do the whole even or odd exponent. Okay? Yep, 1 over 64. Okay, so the deck of the skateboard has an area of about 2 to the 5th times 7 square inches. What is the area of the skateboard deck? Okay, so it's 2 to the 5th times 7. So we can rewrite 2 to the 5th because that 5 is telling that 2 to multiply itself 5 times. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 7. Okay? 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, and then 32 times 7, I believe, should get you 224. Yes, 224. Now, that is inches squared because we're still talking about area. Okay? Yep, 224. So go ahead and try this one on your own, okay? And then once you are done, push play. It is 2 times 4 squared times 5 squared. What is the area? Okay, well, 2 times 4 times 4 times 5 times 5. Okay, or you could just do 2 times, 4 times 4 is 16, and 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, 2 times 16 is 32, times 25 top of my head, so we're going to see what the answer is. 800 feet squared, okay? So you should have got 800 feet squared. And these I always like because it's always fun. So it says evaluate, which just means solve the expression if A is 3 and B is 5. Okay? And it gives you a little equation right here. A squared plus B to the 4th power. All you have to do is plug them in. Okay? So A is 3. Well, here's an A. So 3 squared plus, well, here's a B. B is 5. So 5 to the 4th. Okay? 3 squared is 9. Let's see. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. And 125 times 5, I think it's 625. So 9 plus 625, you should get 634. Okay? And that's it. That's pretty much it. You just plug it in and solve it. Okay? Oh, I'm freeze. There we go. Okay. Yep, 634. Good. So I'm not crazy. Oh. Okay, so try this one. Okay. It says evaluate, so solve. Okay. If x cubed, or x to the 3rd, y to the 5th, if x is 4 and y is 2. Okay? So what you're going to be doing, right? Plug them in. Okay? So 4 cubed plus 2 to the 5th. Okay? Remember, just plug those in. Okay, so then 4 cubed, right? 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. Plus, and then 2 to the 5th is just 32. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. And you should get 96. Okay? Okay. This one is a solve if A minus B squared when A is 3 and B is 5. Well, 3 minus 5, if I just plug those in, 3 minus 5 is negative 2 squared. Well, negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. Okay? Okay, you guys try this one. Okay, so x plus y squared when x is 4 and y is 2. Pause the video and do that by yourself, and then when you're done, push play. Okay, so we plug it in. 4 plus 2 squared. You always do what's in parentheses first, PEMDAS, parentheses, then exponent. So 4 plus 2 is 6 squared, and 6 squared is 36. Okay. Okay, that is it for 1, 2, okay. I will post the homework with this. Hopefully it works this time and it's not scattered. But you should have 1.3 tomorrow. You have 3 days to get in the homework, and then I'll grade it. I don't know how I'll send it back to you. I'm still thinking of a way to do that, but I can get them graded. Just to let you know, your grades do not look at SIS. I put the grades in for the people who are here, which they aren't ahead of you, but they do get the stuff obviously before you do, or at least a day in advance before you do. So when I put their grades in, it will come up and say that you have a 0 for that assignment. You don't necessarily have a 0 because you haven't seen the video yet. So don't look at SIS. If you need to ask what your grade is, just message me and I can tell you what it would be. But yeah, other than that, let me know what went well, what didn't, see if we can change some things. I had someone say it was a little dim. You couldn't see the numbers sometimes, but it made sense later once the answer came up and whatnot. So that's why I was writing it on the board, but suggestions like that are always welcome. So have a great Tuesday.